Greetings viewers and subscribers. I've been very nervous to post this video for a very long time, and sooner or later I had to get this video out there. Now you may have noticed this is the first time I'm making an unscripted video, so let's see how this goes. There was going to be a channel update video that was like 19 minutes long, and I decided to cut that short since it was way too long, and I just want to get to the important stuff. So you probably have seen in the title of this video, you may have noticed why is Nexum's development so slow? And to get the truth out there, I have the school, part-time job, stress, and the low self-esteem, but I also don't have as much confidence anymore with Nexum. See, when you look at the FPS games in the gaming industry, the FPS market is really saturated, and while I tried to find ways to make Nexum unique, it was just a matter of time before games out there would just take the ideas that I had for Nexum. I'm mainly looking at like Overwatch, Quake Champions, and then some other indie FPS games, the fast-paced FPS games. And some of the games like Overwatch, Overwatch has been successful, and I don't know how many people are still playing it, but then there's also Quake Champions, which pretty much took most of the ideas I had with Nexum. Fast-paced, you had the different playable characters, they had their own abilities and their own playstyle, their own movements. And then I see some other indie FPS games, the fast arena FPS games. I'm not gonna mention them specifically, but when you look at them, their player base isn't that big. I don't know what's the reasoning behind it, but that's apparently what's happening. And that's just making it more worrying for my own game, which could end up the same way as them. And I try to ignore that, and I try to say to myself, no, things are gonna get better, like you'll come up with something great. But then there's when working on Nexum, you have the expensive development, it's multiplayer, you have the server management, the assets for the game, it's 3D, and the game is just so ambitious, it's large scale. I don't think there's going to be any other game out there that I'm going to end up making that is as large scaled as Nexum. That said, if it doesn't go out well for Nexum, if one day I release it, if it fails, it's a lot more costly and penalizing compared to maybe like a smaller scale game if it just doesn't take off. So I'll go back to why Nexum was originally created. Let's go all the way back to September 2012. That's when I first started working on Nexum. This was when I was still in high school. And it was just with another friend. It just kind of came off as like a small idea. It's like, oh yeah, let's just make a game together. He would have been the artist, and I would be doing the programming. Anyway, yeah, when I look at going back to September 2012, at that time, you'd see a lot of FPS games out there, and they were mostly modern FPS games like Call of Duty, Battlefield. That's one of the popular ones. CS:GO is still very popular today, but that was I think that still was a thing going. They were focused on realism, and I just noticed a gap in the FPS industry. There wasn't that many games not focused on realism and more focused on fast-paced, more action, just less focused on realism, and just overall a lot more fun. And so yeah, when I just saw that gap, that's where my motivation came in, and that's when I just decided to work on Nexum. I wanted to make a game that would revive the gameplay of fast-paced gameplay, the mobility focus. You had your different characters, they'd have their own abilities added with their weapons, their own playstyle, just a lot more dynamic in the gameplay. But then, yeah, as I mentioned, as years went on, the games eventually just have that idea. It's not like it's mentioned publicly, but we're on the same agenda. And Blizzard was just 3 steps ahead of me. Just bigger company, more people, more resources. They were able to get Overwatch done. And then I thought, well, maybe I can just have that fast-paced element. Oh, now Quake Champions came out. So I'm just losing ideas with Nexum. And I guess I'll get to this next topic. We are reworking Nexum. But yeah, as I just mentioned previously, it's difficult to come up with something unique, considering that games out there are just they come up with these new ideas, or they kind of merge things together, and then I'm just sitting here, I don't know where to take it. I just can't find the inspiration. I just can't find the proper inspiration. I have different ideas written down for the gameplay. They're for the competitive game mode, the mechanics. Well, I haven't mentioned them yet in this channel or on the Discord server. They're just very gameplay changing. I don't know if that would alienate some people because of how different it is. I'm just really nervous to change the core gameplay of Nexum. And that said, I'm just very confused where to take Nexum. So, what does this mean for Nexum? I will say that I have not given up on Nexum. This doesn't mean Nexum is dead. And I have been thinking of putting it to the side, but I want to get some input from you guys. Like, what are your thoughts on this? Should I keep working on Nexum? Should I work on side projects for the time being? Or should I just alternate between them? Just maximum 2 at a time for the game projects. I don't want to work on too many at once. And so if I'm working on the side projects, I'll go back to Nexum when I have a better idea where to take it, and when I just feel ready to tackle on it again. If I keep working on Nexum, however, or just alternate between them, I guess I'll just post some future videos going over the proposed rework. The rework of Nexum. So, that's the truth why Nexum's development has been so slow. I know this may have come off very surprising for some of you guys. I'm very sorry if this may have upset some people. And, yeah, maybe I should have got this video out sooner rather than now, but the truth is out now. My name is BountyXSnipe. Thank you for listening, and I look forward to hearing your response on this.